Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to another All Factuals video. So yes, I know this video is a couple days, well, a few days after Halloween, but of course it doesn't matter because life is a joke. Either way, I was scrolling on TikTok and I just so happened to have seen this video right here.
With modern day technology, it is archaic to eat humans.
And the sun?
The sun is a nuisance to no vampires. It hasn't affected me in over 500 or 600 years. Survival in the daylight is possible with time and melanin. Only vampires with an ample supply can endure the light. It's like a superpower.
Now, yes, this video I believe was an ad, maybe not, but I think it was posted by Amazon's account. But this really got me thinking, like, could black vampires really be immune to the sunlight? So I do what anyone does in 2024. Instead of me Googling it and putting all the research together myself, I type it into ChatGPT and then I see what it comes up with. And here are some of the results. Now, as you can see, they tell me, okay, well, this is a good idea. This is a cool concept. You know, melanin serves multiple purposes. As we already know, melanin helps actually not only absorb sunlight, but it helps dissipate it on our skin. So that way we're less likely to have, you know, skin cancer, things like that. But also it helps dissipate heat, which is interesting. Didn't know that one. And they took this concept and they kind of expanded on it a little bit. What happens biologically if, you know, with a vampire's regeneration, would it even amplify melanin in the skin, allowing them to have like this forever going amplification process of darker skin? However, these concepts mostly apply to biological vampires. So things that involve magic is more related to, you know, the concepts of the spell itself. Basically, nature trying to restore balance because this creature is too powerful, so it needs something that can kill it. But in this case, in a biological vampire's case, like Morbius, who needs plasma, I think this could actually be something that's legitimately extremely useful. So, okay, let's kind of go down this list here, and then, you know, I'll have some panels and things, you know, it's more of a rant video. So if you're listening to this, not really a rant per se, but, you know, if you're listening to this, just vibe with me for a second. You know, we're just going to go down this rabbit hole together. So as we know, melanin is a highly effective in absorbing UV radiation, which can act as a natural shield against the sun's harmful effects. Black vampires might retain or even amplify this characteristic, making them resistant to sunlight. This could come with limitations as well. Perhaps extreme UV levels or prolonged exposure could still harm them, but not as quickly or severely as it would other vampires. So that's already an interesting concept. So, you know, I typed it in. Let's explore the concept. How would they be able to resist the sunlight due to melanin? Melanin is an excellent absorber and dissipator of UV radiation, which could come in the core form of vampire sun resistance. In humans, melanin provides some natural protection against sunburn and cellular damage. So for the vampires, this trait could be amplified, perhaps even developed as a defense over the centuries due to the biological aspect. It can amplify this. So it gave me a scenario. Imagine vampires have higher concentration of melanin than typical humans, meaning their skin can absorb and neutralize much of the UV radiation that would normally harm other vampires. The pigmentation isn't just surface level adaptation, but a trait deeply embedded in their biology, making it crucial to their survival and much better, in my opinion, vampires biologically. Now, this production, supposedly, they said vampiric biology might allow melanogenesis, a process where they rapidly produce melanin when exposed to sunlight. It's like tanning, but because they're biological vampires and they themselves have the ability to heal and regenerate, it would amplify basically the bodily functions of creating melanin, which basically would allow them to tan even faster, which would then produce more protective reaction, flooding their skin with melanin and shields their cells from solar damage. But according to ChatGPT, the rapid reaction could act as a built-in defense mechanism, allowing them to step into the daylight, albeit cautiously. Now, maybe you know that can affect their powers in terms of now they're actively using regeneration to kind of keep feeding their melanin. However, This also is interesting. Melanin has additional properties beyond UV protection. It's also effective at dissipating heat, which can allow the vampires to withstand the sun's warmth without suffering burns or discomfort. Unlike other vampires who might feel sunlight boiling their skin, the black vampires could be less sensitive to heat, giving them a unique resilience and ability to endure in situations where the sun's presence would be lethal to others. So, 2 powers for the price of 1. You know, having that melanin that can dissipate the UV radiation, as well as kind of helping them dissipate heat off their bodies. And we know vampires, they tend to explode and set on fire and things like that. So basically, them being able to have this ability of melanin would allow them to briefly, or even in some cases, really venture during the day into the sunlight. Like I said, this is for biological vampires, and if it feeds into their ability to heal and regenerate and all that stuff, it would amplify 10 times over, allowing them to be practically immune to sunlight. And then they would be some of the most powerful biological vampires in history. Very interesting stuff. Like I said, just wanted to talk about this a little bit because it was because, you know, Halloween, you know, that's pretty much what it is. Now, they did mention some limitations and drawbacks to keep things balanced, but I guess this is ChatGPT trying to make sure that they're not too powerful, which is basically, you know, prolonged exposure might still damage them, you know, because, you know, even though black people, we have a lot of sun resistance and we can stay in the sun a lot longer. Even ourselves, we have limitations. However, due to melanin, we are still far more likely to win the lottery than we are to actually develop skin cancer. So, and that's not an opinion. That's something you can just Google, because Google is free. Gradual melanin depletion. This is an ability that, or I guess a drawback that they're adding to the ability where they can regenerate melanin at night. So basically, the less they're exposed to the sun, they can kind of let their power rest, the power of melanin rest, and then build up. And so that way it can go in the day at night. Sorry, I said day at night. So they can go into the day and recharge at night. And then on top of that, they created this other one where it says deeper bond with darkness. The more time they spend in the sun, the more they crave the darkness to recharge, symbolizing a fundamental bond with their vampiric nature. I don't think that's inherently true. They like the darkness simply because they were not immune to the sunlight. And now if they have some sort of high extreme resistance, then it wouldn't even really matter too much at this point. They'll probably be outside, maybe instead of high noon, they'll be outside before then and after 3 o'clock, depending on the time of year, and they will be perfectly fine. But these vampires will be extremely resistant, enduring, and drawing on like the biological legacy of being a person of color, black. They would be some of the most powerful creatures on the planet Earth. But it's just a simple scroll down, this is a simple scroll down the ChatGPT hole, and just some interesting concepts. Let me know in the comments down below what y'all think is going to take place when it comes to, black vampires and biological vampires. This does not apply to magic. This is specifically for biological vampires. This is what this kind of random thought is about. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll holla at y'all next week or next video, whenever I decide to post. Peace out.